This is a public meeting as required by the Planning Act to provide an opportunity to provide input with respect to a proposed minor variance at 9525 Springwater Road in the municipality of Central Elgin. Does any member of the committee have a disclosure of interest concerning the proposal? Seeing none, Ms. Leach, what method of notice and when was the notice given to the public, please?
Mr. Chair, as per requirements of the Planning Act, notice was mailed by regular post to every owner of land within 60 meters of the subject land and applicable agencies on August 18th, 2025. Notice was physically posted to the property by municipal staff, and notice was also posted to the municipal website.
Thanks, Ms. Leach. Is the applicant in attendance? I don't believe is he online?
Mayor Sloan, there's no one online.
Thank you. Ms. Leach, any written submissions regarding the proposal?
Mr. Chair, no correspondence was received.
Thank you. Any questions from the public? Any questions from anyone online?
Mayor Sloan, there's nobody online.
Thank you. Questions from council? Seeing none. Everyone has been provided a fair opportunity to be heard. The committee is ready to make its decision, I believe. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Those wanting to be notified by the committee's decision on any application should contact the municipality. This public meeting is adjourned at 6:31. Thank you. This is a public meeting as required by the Planning Act to afford any person an opportunity to make representation with respect to a proposed zoning bylaw amendment respecting 8982 Yarmouth Center Road in the municipality of Central Elgin. Any member of council have a disclosure of interest concerning this proposal? Seeing none. Ms. Leach, what method of notice and when was the notice given to the public, please?
Mr. Mayor, as per requirements of the Planning Act, notice was mailed by regular post to every owner of land within 120 meters of the subject land and applicable agencies on August 18th, 2025. Notice was physically posted to the property by municipal staff, and notice was also posted to the municipal website.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Mr. McClure to come forward. If you take the microphone, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Sloan. Yeah. So yes, this is a draft zoning bylaw amendment for 8982 Yarmouth Center Road. As can be seen on the screen, the property is, east of Yarmouth Center, north of Elm. As we've seen or dealt with in the past, the lands themselves are subject to a surplus farm severance application. No. What's going on here? Trying to go to the next screen. This. So as this rezoning amendment is a surplus, condition of a surplus farm severance, essentially to prohibit a new dwelling on the retained lands. Let's just bring this over. So the original consent application that the county, or sorry, the municipality would have heard back in March proposed an area shown on the screen that was approximately 4.1 acres in size. Concerns were raised by staff through the consultation process, through that original submission. However, at the end of the day, the municipality and the Catfish Creek Conservation Authority and the county were generally in support of the surplus farm severance, given the location of the services, et cetera. The staff report that the municipality would have seen back in March 17th was reflective of this general size of the surplus farm severance. However, after that meeting, the Land Division Committee meeting held in March 26th, it was requested to be deferred because a larger surplus farm severance application was requested. As part of that County Land Division Committee application, the county staff report recommended refusal based on the size of the surplus farm severance. We did have from municipal staff and with the county have a follow-up meeting with the applicant, raising concerns about the increased size. As part of that process, ultimately the Land Division Committee accepted or approved the severance back in May 28th. However, as part of that approvals process and correspondence was received by Catfish Creek Conservation Authority, that the lands in the larger area does encompass an area that is covered by a natural hazard. So ultimately, as part of my report, that I raised concerns given the fact of the increased size, which wasn't consistent with the municipality's policies or the county's policies on limiting the size of the surplus farm severance, and also the fact that it is requiring or permitting a severance in a hazardous lands and rezoning lands for essentially residential and other uses that would be contrary to policy. That being said, I know there are people in the audience that will be, speaking to that. But this is the draft amendment that has been, I guess, prepared to support the application and was being requested. So part one of the amendment introduces a new schedule to the bylaw, being Schedule A, that's just map part 17S. Part two of the amendment is Schedule B, being map part 18G. And then part three of the amendment shows the area and hatched lines on Schedule A as OS 1-248. As can be seen, well, it's 249, but 248 on this. 249 is dealing with the severed lands. Part four of the amendment introduces a new section to the OS1 zone, being 8.2.2.248, designates and defines the area on map part 18G as OS1-248, provides the only permitted uses are the rural residential use, home occupations, accessory uses, permitted building and structures being a single detached dwelling and accessory buildings and structures. And then exceptions are provided for the general provisions of the OS1 zone. Part five of the amendment deals with Schedule A and B and designates those in the heavy soil lines as OS1-249. So that's the retained lands that are to remain in agricultural production. Provides that part two of the amendment, introducing a new section is 8.2.2.249, being OS1-249 on map part 17S and part 18G. Provides that the only permitted uses are farm uses, accessory uses, only permitting buildings and structures being farm buildings and structures, no dwelling shall be permitted, and accessory buildings and structures. Then there's the exceptions to the general provisions of the OS1 zone. And then part seven is a consolidation of everything that's occurred on those map parts, being Schedule C and Schedule D, and being zoning map part 17 and 18 respectively. So it shows everything that's occurred on that map through this amendment and previous amendments. Thank you.
Thanks. Whoops. Thanks, Mr. McClure. Quick question just while you're there. So the lands, the rezoning, the lands would be contrary, okay? But before, when it was the smaller piece, there was no need for rezoning.
There would be still a need for a rezoning. So the smaller piece, the issue with that was that confirmation through the consultation process was that the lands did not contain hazards, natural hazards, as identified by the Catfish Creek Conservation Authority. So the expansion, not only would it increase it to a larger size than was required based on the county and the municipality's official plan, but it also encompassed lands that were identified as a natural hazard as per the Catfish Creek Conservation Authority.
Thank you. Excuse me. Any written submissions on the proposal, Ms. Leach?
Your worship, no correspondence was received.
Thank you. I'm not sure if I have anyone online, Ms. Redmond.
Mayor Sloan, there's no one online.
Thank you. I think we have some presenters. If you just come forward to the microphone, press the button and state your name. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Helen Button. I am solicitor for Wayne Kentner, who is the applicant. Wayne is here and would like to just present some additional information to you. He's here to answer questions as well about the details of the application and the nature of the property. And I'm here as well after that if you have questions for me.
Thank you. Mr. Kentner, did you want to speak? You can sit and speak if you want, sir. One more time.
How's that?
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Kentner. Welcome.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, good evening. As you now know, my name is Wayne Kentner. My wife and I are the owners of 8982 Yarmouth Center Road, and so the applicants for this bylaw amendment. And so I would like to speak to the bylaw amendment, which of course is the subject of this proceeding. Kevin McClure, the planner, has prepared a report to council, which I know you've had for some time, and which Mr. McClure has outlined again just now. I believe his overriding objection is the size of the lot that would be created by the severance proposal, which was approved by the Land Division Committee of Elgin County. The Bailey Drain meanders through the property, and so the property is defined as a hazard land. The report questions why there has been no justification provided why it was not possible to locate the development outside of the hazard. Catfish Creek Conservation Authority has confirmed that both the severed and retained parcels have hazard present on them. Consequently, I don't really see how it's possible to locate the development outside of a hazard area. Development, of course, being the creation of a new lot through severance. There is no suggestion of any development on either severed or retained portions, and obviously there could be none without further approvals of the county and/or the municipality. In fact, the sole purpose of this bylaw amendment is to specifically deny any opportunity to permit residential development on the retained lands. No further development of the severed lot would ever be possible without permits and approvals that I can't imagine would ever be obtainable. There was a first proposal that was approved by the planners and was subsequently changed at the specific request of the purchaser to increase the size of the severed lot to include a forested section next Bailey Drain, which has no agricultural use for him and has limited access. Mr. Clur's report states that the original proposal would be outside the hazard. That is not really correct. The line drawn for the original severance starts at Yarmouth Center Road at the western end of the property at the south bank of the Bailey Drain. It proceeds easterly for 37 meters. It then crosses the Bailey Drain and continues in a northeasterly direction for another 62 meters. Then again crosses Bailey Drain and continues in a northeasterly, Let me start that over again. I don't want to confuse you. The original line drawn in the original proposal starts at Yarmouth Center Road on the south bank of Bailey. It proceeds due east for 37 meters. Then it crosses the Bailey Drain, so it's now north of Bailey Drain, and it continues in a northeasterly direction for another 62 meters, and then again crosses Bailey, going due east to the eastern end of the property. In the second proposal, which was approved by the Land Division Committee, this line proceeds northeasterly an additional 51 meters before crossing Bailey and proceeding to the east, south of the Bailey Drain. Consequently, the original proposal did include substantial development within the hazard. Catfish Conservation Authority has not provided any objection to either the initial or the revised proposal. Mr. McClure's report emphasizes that the Ontario's provincial planning statement provides that development shall generally be directed to areas outside hazarded sites, generally directed outside hazarded sites where there is an unacceptable risk to public health or safety. In this instance, I cannot foresee any such risk, nor is any development proposed apart from the creation of lot, creation through severance. I believe the important question relating to the approval of an oversized lot was addressed in my justification for zoning bylaw amendment statement, which is posted on your website and I presume you're familiar with. To recap, that area prior to our planting of over 5,000 trees was swampy. It was not farmed, and it remains very difficult to access. The purchaser specifically requested that that land be included in the severance as it was of absolutely no use to him. This information was considered and it was discussed in detail by the Land Severance Committee before they voted unanimously to approve this exception based on its merits. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councilors. I'd be happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Any questions from council? Seeing none, my thanks to you, Mr. Kentner. As you know, we will now receive a report and it will come back from staff and then we'll have a meeting afterwards, correct?
I'm not sure whether others might,
So,
including my lawyer, might wish to speak at this time.
sure.
Whoops, I had nothing particular beyond if there were any questions from council for me. I think our emphasis was simply that there's no specific new development planned right now and that the size makes sense in this instance and was considered by land division, given the difficulty of accessing the land and the swampy ground and trees there that the purchasing farmer has no use for and that can't really be cultivated. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I think the purchasing farmer might be here. And we have, I see, a former reeve here of Yarmouth, Mr. Haddo. Did you wish to speak, Richard?
Good evening. Former reeve, yes. That goes, some of you weren't even born back then. Anyway, so I kind of know the procedure a little bit, and I know that you've all had time to review the application. I would hope that someone went out and took a look at it. I also know that Kevin has done his job and has presented a report to you and a recommendation. And you've also heard that this was discussed at Land Division back in May 28th. And staff of the county presented a brief very similar to what Kevin has suggested. But you may not know that the committee themselves overruled that and voted 100% in favor of this application. And, you're going to review this, you're going to make a decision, and making decisions sometimes isn't easy. And I hope that when you judge this application, that you look at its own merits and that you can see and would agree with Land Division that this change makes sense. And that's what this is all about, is making some sense out of the situation. Yes, it's an oversized lot, and, that's the issue here. And it is normal for you not to approve a lot of this size. But again, I think the reason is that this makes sense. So I hope that when it comes time to make your decision, that just like Land Division, you would agree that this application makes sense and will support it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haddo. Any further questions from council? I think we're good for online, right? Everyone has been given a fair opportunity to be heard. If there are no further questions, please be advised that any person wishing further information on the actions of council regarding the passing of a bylaw on the proposed amendment should email info@Central Elgin. Anyone does not have an access to a computer can call Delaney Leach at 519-631-4860, extension 286. Any amendment to this bylaw will be considered at a future meeting of council. This meeting is adjourned at 6:58. Thank you all.